Okay, hi everyone. Good evening. My name is Sahil and I will be taking your Ethics, Integrity and Aptitude GS paper number 4. Okay. So first of all, how's everyone? कैसे हो सब? सब बढ़िया हो? सही चल रहा है सब? ओके, नहीं चल रहा? नहीं, ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए, सही चलना चाहिए. क्या हो गया? क्या नहीं सही चल रहा? फीलिंग नहीं आ रही? क्यों नहीं फीलिंग आ रही? क्या क्या ऐसा पॉइंट मिसिंग है या क्या ऐसा एक्स्ट्रा हो रहा है जो फीलिंग नहीं आ रही है? डेली गोल अचीव नहीं हो पा रहे हैं. ओके, दिस इज एक्चुअली अ वेरी बिग प्रॉब्लम. ठीक है कि डेली गोल्स अचीव नहीं हो पा रहे हैं, टारगेट्स अचीव नहीं हो पा रहे हैं, बनाते कुछ हैं कि दैट ऐसा करेंगे वैसा करेंगे एंड एट द एंड ऑफ द डे सब कुछ वो वैसे का वैसा रखा रह जाता है. इट इज एक्चुअली अ वेरी बिग प्रॉब्लम. ओके, इस पे आज बात करेंगे, स्पेशली विल बी टॉकिंग ऑन दैट थिंग. ठीक है, व्हाट्स योर नेम? Sahil. Okay, so your name is also Sahil. So Sahil has raised a very valid issue that is there. Okay, so guys, let's talk about certain things. Fine. First of all, today's session will not, I just don't want it to be a kind of a passive session jahan pe I am giving some kind of a gyan and you are expected to receive that gyan just passively. No, that will not be the case. I want an active engagement of yours also. Okay, this is a kind of a session where I'll just try to give you some practical advices with respect to the problems that you are facing. Okay, so it is not just a kind of a passive session. I'm really seeking to provide you some valuable inputs here. So give your participation here. Okay, chalo, let's start with the session. Okay, so ethics, integrity and aptitude. This particular paper, more popularly known as GS paper number 4. This is, you all might be knowing that this is the newest edition that has happened into the UPSC way back in 2013. Now, ethics paper actually is something which has been added recently, and this paper, the people, they have only two types of viewpoints towards this paper. A, they will be liking this paper too much. They have a too much of interest in this paper. Okay, and they eagerly are waiting to study that what this ethics integrity is all about. Second group of people, and this is a very big chunk of people, they are scared of this paper. Okay, they are fearful of this paper. Is it clear? They think that पता नहीं ethics के अंदर में क्या आ जाएगा, मतलब what they are going to ask. Okay, and this exactly thing is seen in terms of the marks that the aspirants are also getting. On one hand, you'll find the aspirants, they are scoring 135, 138, 140 in the ethics paper. Okay, 130 plus marks have been scored by many of the aspirants in the ethics. And at the other hand, you'll find that aspirants are scoring 80, 85, 90 marks. I'm talking about the good aspirants. You're getting it or not? When we see the marks differential, देखो, marks differential in GS 1, 2 and 3 will not be that much. Good serious aspirants who have studied diligently, the marks differential might be around 5-6 marks in either of the GS 1, 2 or 3. But GS 4 के अंदर में the good aspirants, the good ones even, they are having a differential of 25-30 marks. Have you observed that thing? Do you know this thing that it is there? So there is a kind of a different approach that ethics paper requires. Clear? There is a different kind of a mindset that ethics paper requires. And once you crack that mindset, once you understand that requirement, you will be the one who will score 3-digit marks in the ethics. You're getting it or not? So today's session will center around this major thing only. That what is exactly the UPSC is looking for? What is the mindset that you need to have before you approach this paper? समझ रहे हो? See, first of all, whenever you are approaching that thing, okay, anything you are approaching, anything you are pursuing in your life, be it the UPSC, be it any other thing, you need to know that discipline thoroughly. Only then you can strategize properly. This is a very basic thing, and maximum and most of the aspirants are not paying attention to this thing. Is it clear? So you need to strategize well, you need to strategize thoroughly so that you can beforehand can create a kind of a roadmap which you will be requiring. And today's session will try to lay down that kind of a roadmap for you guys. Is it clear or not? इसलिए बिल्कुल भी नहीं शर्माना है. Okay, whatever doubts are there, whatever questions are there in your mind, ask them. Fine. Chalo. Now, before going in this ethics paper, I will ask a very basic question from you, a fundamental question I am going to ask. In 2013, this paper got added. What could be the reason that the UPSC has added this paper? What could be the reason that entirely a different type of paper was added? Earlier, GS 1, 2, 3 also got added, but polity, history, geography, economy, all those things were there already. Though some world history and post-independence, these things came, but ethics, entirely a new paper got added. What could be the reason that commission did this thing? Yes. Lack of morality in the officers. Okay, what's your name? Vishal. Okay, so Vishal had said that it has been observed that there has been the lack of morality in the officers. Yes, this is really a kind of a thing that might have transpired in the UPSC, that this paper got added. Okay, good. What else? What else could be the reason? Okay, what's your name, ma'am? Okay, so Kiran says to check that how the civil servants are taking decision. Can I say that you're trying to say to check the psyche or the psychology of the aspirants, that what is their psychology, what is behind their mind? ठीक है कि ये आगे जाके क्या करने वाले हैं? Psychology. Very good. Yes, what else? Yes, very good. Very good. Good. So Sahil says that to check the aptitude of the civil servants. Okay. So this is perfectly the fine answer that you have given. This is exactly could have been the reason that UPSC introduced these particular papers. So 3 reasons that are there, and why I am talking about these reasons, it will lay down the approach that you need to have in this paper. Number 1, to check the psyche of the aspirants. Number 2, to see the attitudes of the civil servants, the type of attitudes that they are having. Number 3, to check the aptitude of the civil servants. Clear? See, basically, Sardar Patel, when he was addressing the first batch of IAS probationers in the Metcalfe House in Delhi in 1947, at that point of time, he referred to the civil servants, he referred particularly to the IAS officers as the steel frame of India. He referred to them as the steel frame of India. Can you tell me why he referred to them as the steel frame of India? What could have been the reason? Okay, ये सुना तो होगा ना? Bureaucracy is the steel frame of India. So this steel frame, okay, this this reference was used by Sardar Patel in Delhi in 1947. Okay, what could have been the reason that he referred to the civil servants? He referred particularly to the IAS officers as the steel frame. Yes. Okay. Yes. Very good. What's your name? Swarn Upadhyay. So Swarn says that they will be assisting the government in a big way. That is, yes, correct reason. But why specifically the word steel frame? Specifically, why this word steel frame? Yes. Okay. Okay, within that country, say, what's your name? Harshad Mehta. Okay, so Harshad, yes, he has also given a fair answer. See, why the word steel frame? What is the quality of steel? Steel has 2 very important qualities. Number 1, steel is flexible. Okay, steel is flexible. When you put a lot of pressure, steel can flexibly accommodate, but at the same time, flexibility doesn't mean that it is weak. Along with the flexibility, it also has a particular kind of resilience. So steel has the two qualities. Along with the flexibility, it has resilience. And the bureaucracy of India need to represent these two qualities simultaneously. They need to be flexible. They need to be flexible to accommodate the different demands of the changing India, to accommodate the aspirations of rising India. At the same time, they also need to have resilience. They will not bow down under pressure. See, you becoming a civil servant, you need to understand that you will always be working under scarcity. You will always be working under a lot of pressure. There will be political pressure. There will be the pressure of scarcity of resources. There will be the expectation of people. You are doing every possible thing that is in your hand and you are trying to be good. But at the same time, you are being criticized. Okay, so there is a lot of pressure. Under that pressure, you don't need to break down. You need to show resilience, similar to the resilience that the steel can show. And at the same time, you need to be flexible. You need to be accommodative of new ideas. You need to be accommodative of change. You need to be accommodative of many new ways of thinking pattern. So therefore, the steel, the bureaucracy, the civil servants, they were, or IAS officers, they were referred to as the steel frame of India. You understanding that? But actually what happened? Actually, what happened from then till now? Actually, this steel frame, to a larger extent, okay, it got tarnished. This steel frame got tarnished, and to certain extent, sometimes we see that it has turned into a kind of a different steel frame. Have you seen these things? Have you ever read the newspaper that certain of the civil servants, okay, involved in corruption, involved in embezzlements, involving in abuse of their power, involving in corruption? Have you ever heard these kind of instances? I'm not saying that everyone, but there are, to an extent, certain officers who are doing these things. So steel frame has turned to a certain extent. I'm saying to a certain extent to another kind of steel frame. And in order to avoid this particular thing, we need to beforehand check the psyche of the civil servants. We need to check their attitude. We need to check their aptitude, whether they will be contributor to this kind of steel frame or will they be contributors to this kind of steel frame. And in order to check that psyche, attitude and aptitude, there is an attempt to add this paper and to see, to check to certain extent that what lies in your mind. तो समझ में आ रहा है या नहीं आ रहा है? Yes. ये चेक करने के लिए तो yes. देखो, बिल्कुल ऑब्वियसली इंटरव्यू में चेक कर सकते हैं, बट to a certain extent, a kind of a detailed scrutiny is needed. Are you getting it or not? Interview 30-35 minute में obviously they are doing that thing there also, but in order to have a better scrutiny, are you getting it, or to see, to check actually a kind of an intellectual depth that is there, it is assisting in a particular way. Okay, so let's do one activity. I'm going to give you a hypothetical case study. Okay, I'm going to give you a hypothetical case study and I will be asking one question out of that case study. Okay, try to be rational, try to be logical, try to be मतलब देखो क्या होता है. The case study goes like this. Suppose there is a industry XYZ Corporation. There is an industry by the name of XYZ Corporation. Now this industry hires, let's say, 50,000 people. It hires 50,000 people, and the entire economy of the town is dependent on this XYZ Corporation. It is a big industry. Let's say it is a cement plant or a steel plant, hiring these many people directly, and obviously their family is also dependent on the company. So it is driving the economy of that entire town. Now, suppose I am the manager, I am a senior manager of this company. Company is not doing financially very good. There is some kind of financial problems that are there, and in order to sustain the survival of the company, I need to sign a deal with some buyer or with some another party. The contract's worth is, let's say, 20,000 crore rupees. 20,000 crore rupees contract is to be signed. If I get that contract, the company's turnaround might happen. The people, their jobs will be saved, even they will be given a bonus. Otherwise, the company's survival is very much difficult. while this 20,000 crore rupees deal is going on, the another person with whom I am negotiating it, he asks a bribe of 5,000 rupees. He asks a bribe of 5,000 rupees. Now, if you see 5,000 rupees in front of 20,000 crore rupees, 5,000 rupees in front of 20,000 crore rupees, it is nothing. Okay, it is 0.00001%, 2%, something like that. Fine. What should I do? Should I give the bribe of 5,000 rupees and secure the 20,000 crore rupees project so that 50,000 people directly employed, many other people indirectly employed, and many such kind of things will be secured? Or should I not give the bribe? What should be done? It might have, yes, this project, ये वाला जो agreement है, ये sign नहीं होगा. Okay. Fine. Yes.
Negotiated if you could reduce 20,000 crore that we give you to the town.
मतलब 20,000 करोड़ मत दो हमको, 19,000 और वो जितना मतलब 5,000 रुपए दे दिया इन अ वे, मतलब वहां से निकाल के दिया बट दे दिया. चलो ठीक है, ठीक है, ओके, नो इश्यूज. यस, ओके. नहीं, बट फिर हमको अपना भी तो देखना पड़ेगा ना. चलो गुड, ठीक है. यस, यस, व्हाट एल्स? नहीं, एक ही करना है. अब टॉक अबाउट एथिक्स और टॉक अबाउट दिस है ही नहीं. एक आपको डिसीजन करना है, क्या करोगे? हाँ, मतलब 5,000 रुपए का ब्राइब दे सकते हैं. नहीं नहीं, इफ वी टॉक अबाउट एथिक्स और इफ वी टॉक अबाउट लॉ है ही नहीं, क्या करोगे? ठीक है, हमको मेरे को देना है या नहीं देना है? यस, लार्जर गुड के लिए दे दो. 5,000 रुपए ही है, 20,000 करोड़ में 5,000 रुपए. हाउ इट इज मेकिंग अ बिग डेंट? यस, यू are giving a suggestion which looks practically very justifiable. You are giving a suggestion that is actually very much justifiable. It looks logical also. Now let's discuss this particular thing. चलो एक बार इस केस को साइड में रख देते हैं. ओके, यू माइट हैव रेड महाभारत. देखा, पढ़ा नहीं होगा तो टीवी पे देखा होगा. इन महाभारत देयर इज द बैटल ऑफ कुरुक्षेत्र दैट हैपेंस. ओके, why the battle of Kurukshetra was fought? Very good. Battle of Kurukshetra. Okay, last में see Pandavas, they wanted their right. Okay, they wanted basically they wanted their fair share. At the last, Pandavas asked to the Kauravas that if possible, even if you will be giving us 5 villages, will not ask anything more than that. Even 5 villages they were contented with. Okay, but Kauravas, they said that forget about the 5 villages, will not give you even the land equivalent to the tip of a needle, will not give you any land. Okay, and after that the battle of Kurukshetra ensued. If you see very simplistically, it simply looks that it was nothing but a property dispute. अगर देखोगे सारी चीजें हटा के तो सामने क्या दिख रहा है? It was a property dispute. Okay, the Pandavas wanted a certain area. Okay, they wanted 5 villages. Kauravas were not willing to that. Property dispute. But was it really a property dispute? Arjun was seeing it as a property dispute. And Arjun refused that I will not fight because how the history is going to remember me. Everybody will say that for the property he fought with his brothers and he led to so much of the bloodshed. It is not fair. I should not fight it. What Lord Krishna said at that point of time? Lord Krishna, he said this thing, that the content of this war doesn't matter. The character of the war is something that matters. Don't look it as a war for property. It is the war to establish justice. This is war to establish justice. It is not about a property. This is a war where the Kauravas are showing injustice, and you have to uphold the justice in the face of this injustice. It is not about the 5 villages. It is about wrong that is happening, and we are fighting to establish the right. So understand this particular thing. Never the content matters, but the character of an act is something which matters here. Coming again back to the case study that we were discussing, 5,000 rupees bribe, 500 rupees bribe, 50,000 rupees bribe. The amount of bribe never matters. What matters? The character of that act is something which matters. When we talk about giving, the act of giving a bribe, it is inherently corrupt. Act of giving bribe, it is inherently immoral. आज 5,000 रुपए का ब्राइब दिया, कल 50,000 भी दोगे, उसके बाद में 1 लाख का भी दोगे. You getting it or not? देखो, practicality, I said that thing, that practically it might look feasible, it might look logical that let's give 5,000 rupees. But as a honest officer, as a man of integrity, as a person of integrity, as a woman of integrity, ठीक है, चलो genderize नहीं कर रहे, man, women कुछ नहीं, as a person of integrity, you have to abide by certain principles. देखो, certain things are there which are non-negotiable, and having this attitude of non-negotiability on your integrity, this is something that UPSC wants to see here. You're getting it or not? If you are able to demonstrate that, you are the one who might score the marks in triple digit. If you are not able to convince the examiner about your integrity, about your morality, तो कितने भी philosophies लिखो, कुछ भी लिखो, you will be getting those average marks. So यहाँ पे ऐसा कभी नहीं है UPSC में that you have to write a large number of philosophers only, you have to write a large number of case studies only, then only you will be getting the better marks. No. How better you can convince the examiner, or how better you can show your morality, this will decide the marks that you will be getting here. You're getting it or not? So जब आप ethics की बात कर रहे हो, हमको ये चीजें बहुत ध्यान से अपने दिमाग में रखनी है. You understanding it or not? Fine. Yes. What about being a manager, being a senior, being a responsible person? You need to find the different way that how you can accommodate that particular thing. That is the part of your job. Many a times just to save, to have a, मतलब कुछ बड़ा चीज करने के लिए कुछ compromises करने पड़ेंगे, but your task is that आप कैसे उस वे को आइडेंटिफाई करो कि that ऐसा करप्शन ना हो, ऐसा abuse of power नहीं होना चाहिए. You're getting it or not? Fine. This is something. Okay, देखो, understand this particular thing that at the end of the day we need to be good person. UPSC just wants to see that whether you are a good person or not by giving you these different situations. Fine. How many you consider yourself to be a good person? कितने लोगों को लगता है, कितने aspirants को लगता है कि that yes, I am a good person? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, okay, fine. How many think that they are the bad people? How many are the ones who think they are the bad people? ये बीच वाले कौन है? Good people में भी हाथ नहीं उठा रहे, bad में भी हाथ नहीं. Who are these? Huh? So what is the definition of being good? Okay, who was the good? अरे वो दोबारा. Who are the good people? Okay, yes, sir. Why are you good? Why you are a good person? Okay, चलो, very good. Okay, who are the bad people? चलो, वो कौन है जिन्होंने जब गुड वोट हुआ था हाथ नहीं उठाया था? Who are those? चलो, हाँ जी, चलो आप बताइए. हाँ, why you don't consider yourself to be a good person? It happens, but what you aspire to be? यू एस्पायर टू बी ए गुड पर्सन। एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट बात समझो, गुड और बैड कहीं लिखा नहीं हुआ है। There is no book where it is written that okay, this is good person, this is bad person. What is good and bad? Good and bad lies in your intention. If your intentions are to do good, if your intentions are good, you are a good person. All the time, the result, all the time, what actually is coming out of your action will not be in your hand. Okay? Ethics just tries to make you a good person. And how you can be a good person or whether you are a good person or not depends on what your intentions are. Are you getting it or not? It is the limitation of a human being that sometimes his actions will lead to something wrong, but if his intentions were wrong, then the person was bad. If the intentions were not wrong, तो रिजल्ट तो आपके हाथ में नहीं है ना। ठीक है, हाँ जी।
If the deal falls, if we do not get the tender and people they become financially unstable and they are on the brink of poverty, तो मतलब हमने गुड पर्सन के क्या मतलब इवेंचुअली 50,000 लोगों का समझा।
देखो, see what you are suggesting basically the consequentialist viewpoint. You are talking about that the consequences को ही हमको देखना चाहिए। Yes, you are right to a particular extent, and many of the thinkers or many of the people they feel that the consequentialism is a right way to approach the ethics. But देखो, हमेशा अगर आप एंड रिजल्ट ही देखोगे, अगर आप हमेशा एंड रिजल्ट देखोगे, it might not always lead to justice. Are you getting it or not? Sometimes the process is more important, sometimes the ways are more important. Are you getting? एक क्लियर आंसर नहीं है कि दैट नहीं ही देना है और देना ही है। दिस इज नॉट द पॉइंट आई एम ट्राइंग टू पोर्ट्रे। आई एम ट्राइंग टू पोर्ट्रे दैट समटाइम्स टेकिंग केयर ऑफ अ प्रोसेस इज रादर मोर इंपॉर्टेंट। यू आर गेटिंग इट और नॉट? सी, ऑन दैट पर्टिकुलर बेसिस देयर आर सर्टेन माइनॉरिटी पीपल. If the minority is facing, let's say, a persecution, if the minority is facing a kind of some damage, some kind of a injury, but अगर एक majority बचती है तो उसके लिए तो हम minority को भी फिर persecute कर सकते हैं. You're getting something what I'm trying to say? Okay, that is yes a kind of a valid assertion. Okay, I'm not denying it, and there is a very big argument behind that thing also. But I am just trying to show you the spectrum. Are you getting it or not? When we talk about a democracy, even when we talk about the democracy, even democracy, it is said democracy is not the rule of majority. Democracy is the protection of the minority. So even the small things which sometimes look inconsequential in the front of a bigger picture, just because it is a small thing, you cannot ignore it. Just a viewpoint to look over the things. समझ में आ रहा है या नहीं? जस्ट व्यू पॉइंट्स है कि कैसे चीजों को अप्रोच करना है. That is only something that we have to learn here. That is the point, na? That whether you need to bother more about the process, whether you need to bother more about result, it is not the case that always looking for the result is bad. How to identify that result ज्यादा important? अभी result में सोचें या अभी process के बारे में सोचें? This is the only thing that we need to talk about. You suggest, देखो, गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया, गवर्नमेंट से टैगलाइन बहुजन सुखाय बहुजन हिताय. बहुजन सुखाय बहुजन हिताय. व्हाट इज बहुजन सुखाय बहुजन हिताय? वेलफेयर ऑफ द मैक्सिमम पीपल, वेलबींग ऑफ द मैक्सिमम पीपल. इट इज बेस्ड ऑन कॉन्सिक्वेंशियलिज्म ओनली. आर यू गेटिंग इट? बट कब होगा और कब नहीं होगा, देयर इज अ काइंड ऑफ अ प्रोसेस इवन फॉर दैट थिंग, एंड दैट इज समथिंग दैट वी नीड टू लर्न हियर. यू आर गेटिंग समथिंग हियर और नॉट? ठीक है, चलो कमिंग बैक टू द पॉइंट. यस, दिस इज, ये इंटेंशन गुड है ही नहीं. यू से दैट इंटेंशन इज गुड और आप सोच रहे हो कि मेरा गुड हो जाए. दिस इज नॉट गुड, दिस इज सेल्फिशनेस. दिस इज गुड, दिस इज नॉट गुड, दिस इज selfishness. This is self-centricism, and self-centricism and selfishness can never be good. Are you getting it or not? तो मैंने वही बताया ना कि that good क्या है, bad क्या है, nowhere it is written. There are certain parameters. Okay, and when we talk about the human actions, it is a good action or a bad action lies behind the lies in the fact that what are the intentions behind that particular action. Are you getting it or not? If intentions are not good, on the face of it, the actions if are done, जो अच्छा कर रहे हैं लोगों के लिए, उसको हम गुड एक्ट नहीं बोल सकते हैं. चलो एक एग्जांपल लेते हैं. Let's take an example. What Sahil did. Sahil decided that this is now the summers are approaching. People should be given the water. Okay, and what he did, he decided that okay, I will be for this particular effort, I will be donating a water cooler to a temple, or I will be installing a water cooler. He installed a water cooler, and on that water cooler he wrote that ये water cooler मिस्टर साहिल ने XYZ किसी उनकी याद में दिया, या ये वाटर कूलर मिस्टर साहिल ने गरीब लोगों को पानी पिलाने के लिए लगवाया. He did this thing. Now this water cooler is quenching the thirst of many people. This is fact. But can you say that this action is completely a good action? Why? Because what was the intention behind this particular action? The intention was to get popularity. Intention was not charity, intention was popularity. Generosity versus popularity. Are you getting? एक और example लेते हैं. A poor person like me, or not me, a poor person, let's say, what he said, he did not have that much money that he can install a water cooler. What he did, he decided that he will keep 2 earthen pots under a tree so that the people can drink water out of it. He kept the 2 pots there. Every morning he comes and in a very discreet manner he fills them, or whenever he finds that they are getting emptied, he fills them and he just goes away. He's taking care of it, he's refilling them time to time, and people are drinking water. This pot might not be giving as cold water as that water cooler is giving. Second person's action, do you call his action as ethical and good action or not? Why? क्योंकि अब obviously भाई उसने तो, साहिल ने तो इतना खर्चा किया, वाटर कूलर लगवाया, उसने क्या किया, उसने तो 100 रुपए में काम कर दिया. But why you are calling that second person as a good person? Because the intention of that second person, though he had limited resources, but his intentions were pure. His actions might not lead to that much big impact. साहिल ने वाटर कूलर लगाया, उससे 1000 लोग पानी पीते होंगे, उसके 2 पॉट से मे बी 50 लोग पानी पी पाते होंगे. Are you getting? But still, which person you will be calling as a good person? A more good person. Though more good or less good कुछ होता नहीं है, ठीक है, बट क्योंकि फर्स्ट क्लास है तो आई एम बिकमिंग लिटिल बिट रिलैक्स, आई एम यूजिंग दीज काइंड ऑफ डिग्रीज. तो समझ में आ रहा है? तो बहुत बार ये आपको समझने की जरूरत है that you might have limitations because you are a human being. Because of your limitations, let's say, are not bringing something impactful, it doesn't mean that because you are not able to bring an impact, all those actions are worthless. And because some actions are simply bringing some impact, they are worthful. उनके पीछे कुछ भी हो रहा हो, that cannot be the case. Understand this thing. We approach the things from the lens of realism. Sometimes we approach the things from the lens of realism. That might be justified in many of the circumstances, but when we are reading ethics, in ethics, cost to benefit ratio cannot be the only deciding factor. I'm not saying that ये बिल्कुल भी नहीं होगा, but it cannot be the only, focus on my word, only deciding factor. You are understanding it or not? So these are certain things, these are certain mental frames that you need to have. And the UPSC is just trying to see that whether these mental frames are there or not. समझ में आ रहा है या नहीं आ रहा? चलो, let's approach to this paper, ethics, integrity and aptitude, GS paper number 4. One thing I am telling you here, मैं आपको एक grand verdict यहाँ पे दे रहा हूँ, ठीक है? Mark my words, and once you'll complete the ethics, you meet me और बता देना कि सर अगर मैंने गलत बोला था तो. This will be the most easiest paper out of all the 4 papers that are there. See, I admit and I understand that it is a different paper. Why different paper? Because history, geography, polity, economy, these subjects are there which you have read in your school. If you are from humanities background, these subjects you have read even in your college. Ethics, probably 99.9% of people might not have read anywhere. Neither they have read it in school nor they have read it in college. Because it is a different paper, we Understand that different is equal to difficult, but different is not always difficult. You're getting it or not? So yes, different paper, but not a difficult paper, the most easiest paper, the paper that you are going to enjoy. Fine. कुछ नहीं करना है, जस्ट एक अच्छा इंसान बनना है. Just you need to be a good person. Fine. Now, when we talk about this particular paper, first of all, we have understood the nature of this subject. Okay, we have understood the nature of the subject. Now, let's come to syllabus directly, because हर चीज के लिए ये काम करना बहुत जरूरी है. You are approaching your optional, you are approaching your other GS papers. First of all, decode the syllabus as thoroughly as possible. Syllabus is a kind of a map that UPSC has given to you for the treasure that you are searching for. What is the treasure that you are searching for? The rank. You are searching for the treasure. The treasure is to be an IAS officer. That is the treasure. अब उस ट्रेजर तक पहुंचने के लिए यूपीएससी ने मैप दिया, उस मैप को नहीं देखोगे तो नहीं प्रॉपरली पहुंच पाओगे. So let's decode the syllabus first of all. See, in total, there are the 8 topics that are there in the ethics paper. Total 8 topics are there. Within these 8 topics, there are the 31 keywords that have been mentioned. Why I am fixating on this point, 31 keywords, you'll get to know this particular point in just a few minutes. Fine. So in total, we have 8 topics, and not even 8 topics, we have the 7 topics only. Let's understand them one by one. The topic number 1, it is ethics and human interface. Essence, determinants, so consequences of ethics in human actions, ethics in dimensions of ethics in private relation, public relation, human values, value inculcation. Okay, lessons from the lives of the great reformers, administrators. See, in total, the entire ethics paper has been taken from 3 subjects. Number one is philosophy. Number 2 is psychology, social psychology. Psychology का एक part होता है social psychology, and number 3, it has been taken from the public administration. So the topics have been taken from these 3 optionals. 2 more things you need to understand. Because the paper has been inspired from these 3 subjects, it never means that the people who are having these optionals, they will have a kind of a lot of advantage. No, that is not the case. Why? Because the approach when you are reading philosophy will be different, but the approach when you are reading the ethics will be little bit different. Particularly when it comes in the psychology and the public administration, the approach will be different, but in ethics the approach will be different. So if you have these 3 optionals, see, ऐसा नहीं है कि that बहुत ज्यादा फायदा मिलने वाला है, और ऐसा भी नहीं है if you are not having these 3 optionals, you might be at a disadvantage compared with the students who are having it. So everybody is having a level playing field here. Now the topic number 1, that is the ethics and the human interface. This is the basic conditioning over the entire ethics paper. This is the basic conditioning. Here you will be understanding that what is the essence of the ethics. What is ethics? What is morality? Is ethics and morality different? Are they same? What is the nature of ethics? What are the consequences of being ethical? What are the different branches of ethics? What are the different dimensions of ethics? Values, beliefs. What is the difference between the values? Are values always ethical, or different case could be there? So the entire conditioning over this entire paper will be taken in this particular first topic. Very important. Clear? Many of the keyword based questions that have been asked in the UPSC, directly they are coming from this first topic only. And from where it has been taken, this topic largely has been taken from the section of philosophy. From the section of philosophy, largely it has been taken from philosophy. Okay? Topic number 2, attitude. Attitude, content, structure, functioning, attitude. Now, attitude, it is a very important topic which will help you in understanding the process of social change. Chalo, let's take one real life example. Government is taking forward an ambitious program, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. You know about it? Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, you know about it? Okay, a lot of money is being spent. A lot of government is giving in order to construct the toilets. But can you say that completely India is open defecation free? can you say that every person who had got a toilet constructed, he is also using it? Is he using it also? No. Toilet is constructed, people are still not using it. Let's take one more example. Government is spending so much money for the gender sensitization, but can we say that we have become a gender equal society? Can we say that we have become a gender equal society? No. ठीक है, चलो एक लेटेस्ट एग्जांपल लो. Government is spending too much money on the vaccination program, but can you say that the vaccine hesitancy has completely been removed and every person is completely vaccinated? Why these problems? Because the problem is of a deep seated attitude. People are not adopting the cleanliness, not just because they don't have the avenue to use the toilet, but also because of the fact that the attitudes towards open defecation are faulty. Attitudes towards the women are faulty. You're getting it or not? Attitude towards women are faulty. Attitude towards many of the social problems are faulty. People are not taking the vaccines. Why? Because the attitude towards entire vaccination program is having some problems. So if you have to bring a social change being an administrator, आप सिर्फ क्या है, सिर्फ पॉलिसीज इंप्लीमेंट करने से, सिर्फ पॉलिसी बनाने से काम नहीं होगा. पॉलिसी इंप्लीमेंटेशन के लिए यू हैव टू वर्क ऑन द एटीट्यूड ऑफ पीपल. You have to work on the attitude of people. If attitude is changed, everything can be changed. If attitude is not changed, you cannot bring any kind of change. So you need to understand the attitude, and within the attitude there is social influence and there is persuasion. Persuasion is the most important thing that a civil servant has to do. If good persuasion is there in a civil servant, it could be a superpower of a civil servant. Vaccine hesitancy. Suppose you are an IS officer and in your district you find that one of a backward block, people are not ready to take the vaccines there. Why? Because they have a superstition that if they got vaccinated, their DTs will get angry. They don't want to get vaccinated. अब आप दो ऑप्शन है आपके पास में. Option number 1, you leave them. But can you do it? No. Option number 2, you need to get them vaccinated. Should you use the force and forcefully you should get them vaccinated? No, it will completely be going against their freedom. It will completely be negating their autonomy. It will be too paternalistic. अगर उनको जबरदस्ती जाके वैक्सीन लगवा दो तो. बीच में क्या है? Persuasion. Persuade them. खाटला बैठक्स ऑफ झबुआ. Okay, you read the खाटला बैठक्स case study. Okay, so there are certain good case studies. There have been certain civil servants who have been able to influence people, who have been able to persuade people for vaccine hesitancy, for many such kind of things. So persuasion क्या है, कैसे करना है, what are the tools of persuasion? We are going to see it here. You're getting it or not? Okay, you had some doubt? How? No, attitude is not specifically about your behavior, though your behavior reflects your attitude. Attitude is how you evaluate anything, your predisposition to respond in a particular way when you see a particular object. That is your attitude towards that object. Hanji? When the attitude object changes, the attitude changes. ठीक है, देखेंगे इस सब चीजों को. ठीक है, अभी जस्ट इन अ वे दो आई हैव गिवन यू अ डेफिनेशन, बट आई डोंट इंटेंड कि दैट बिल्कुल क्लियर हो जाएगा, बिकॉज देयर आर सर्टेन बेसिक्स दैट फर्स्ट वी हैव टू कवर. यू गेटिंग? देन द थर्ड टॉपिक दैट कम्स हियर, इट इज द एप्टीट्यूड. यस, किसमें? हाँ, सेकंड. यस, the first topic, as we have seen, it comes in philosophy. Attitude, it comes as a part of a social psychology. ये social psychology से inspired topic है. Okay. Then the third is about aptitude. Third topic is aptitude. So when we talk about aptitude and majorly the foundational values of the civil services such as integrity, impartiality, non-partisanship, objectivity, dedication to public services, and these values are there. So topic number 3 is about aptitude and the administrative values. क्या है? Aptitude and administrative values. So aptitude व्हाट इज एप्टीट्यूड? एप्टीट्यूड क्या होता है? कैन एनीबडी डिफाइन एप्टीट्यूड? यस, ओके, ठीक है, गुड, व्हाट एल्स? ओके, ओके. Aptitude, or more aptly it could be defined as the potential to learn anything new if you are provided the training and orientation. Aptitude is your potential to learn something. Are you getting it or not? Ability तो वो है जो हम आज कर सकते हैं. Getting? What is ability? Ability is what I can do today. Speaking English, for example, today is my ability. Aptitude is what you can learn in future. Aptitude is your potential to learn anything. Now see, when we talk about the civil servants need to have a sharp aptitude. Why? Because only a sharp aptitude can make civil servants really smart. Civil servants need to cope up with the change. Civil servants need to be adaptable. They need to be adaptable to technological change. They need to be adaptable with the time. They need to learn many new skills. Civil services, is it a generalist services or it is a specialist service? Generalist service. Being a generalist service, are you going to play the different roles, or you are going to play only few roles? You are going to play many different roles. One day you are working under education. Next day you are working in archaeology. After that day you are working in labor department. After that you are working in health. Then you are working in some other department. Every department has its own set of problems. Every department has its own prospects. How you learn that thing? Only if you have good aptitude. So the aptitude is something that we are going to see. Along with aptitude, there are the values that have been discussed here. Now these administrative values, they are very much important. They are very much important. Why? Because values will guide you when written conduct is not there. Are you getting it or not? Empathy, compassion, integrity. These are certain values that you need to have in your conduct. Are you getting it or not? Empathy, compassion अगर नहीं होगा, you're getting it or not? देखो, there are two words to define. You can define as an IAS officer with two words. Either you can call him as an officer, or you can call him as a servant of public. What is the difference when we use the word officer and when you use the word as a servant to the public? On a face of it, the difference lies in the fact when you call him as an officer, it shows a kind of a sense of elitism associated with it. But when the moment you use the word servant to the public, the very moment it shows a sense of devotedness. It shows a sense of empathy, compassion towards the people. समझ में आ रहा है? कुछ नहीं आ रहा है? You consider, देखो, समझो इस बात को. The moment you became an IAS officer, you consider yourself as a babu. You consider yourself as a babu. And the moment you consider yourself as a babu, a kind of an elitism comes in you. And the moment that elitism comes to you, a kind of a different attitude comes that, okay, I am above the public. होता या नहीं होता? Because of this particular notion only, many a times the civil servants, they are disconnected from the people. They are disconnected from the problems of the people. They are disconnected from the miseries of a common man. But the moment, the attitude that yes, you are a servant of the people that comes, you're getting it or not? You reflect a sense of devotion to the people. अब आप अपने आप को servant समझते हो या officer समझते हो? I am not going into the etymology कि that officer क्या, मैं just एक attitudinal mindset की बात कर रहा हूं. You consider yourself as an officer who is sitting at a esteemed position, or you consider yourself as a servant. This thing is decided by the values that you are holding in you. The values that you are holding in you. समझ में आ रहा है? So all these values we are going to see here. The examples of the officers who have followed these values, what these values means, what are the different dimensions within these values, all these things we are going to see here. You're getting it or not? Okay? So this is an attempt just to give a generalistic idea that what the paper will be about all. Then the next is, Yes, the aptitude largely it is taken from the aptitude part is taken largely from social psychology, and the values part is largely taken from the philosophy section. Okay. Then the next topic is emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence. Now, personally, emotional intelligence is a very important attribute not only for a civil servant but for a common man also. चलो एक आपको real life incident बताता हूँ. When the lockdown was going on, there was an incident reported from the state of Odisha. What happened? A woman, 75-year-old woman, he dragged her 97-year-old woman on a wooden cot, on a wooden bed, from village to the bank. The distance was around 17-18 kilometers. So 17-18 kilometers from the village, he dragged her mother to the bank on a wooden cot. The mother herself, the woman, she was also 70-75 years old woman. Okay. Why? Because that 90-year-old woman, she was receiving some kind of a pension. The amount of the pension was not that much big, just 500 rupees pension she was receiving. When the lady went to the bank that please issue the pension that has been given in the name of the mother, the bank manager refused to entertain any claim, and he insisted that the women, that 90-year-old woman, should be presented here to certify that the woman is still living. You're getting it or not? What happened? She had to drag the 90-year-old woman to the bank. Why such kind of things are happening? Why such kind of things are happening? Because of emotional insensitivity that is there in the civil servants many a time. It is because of the emotional insensitivity that is there within the public servants many a time. Is it the reason or not? Clear? चलो एक और example लेते हैं. This was the case you might have also seen in the Chhattisgarh. It happened. One IAS officer, he was patrolling and he was making sure that the lockdown is being followed. Lockdown was going on. He was enforcing the lockdown. Okay, he found that one person was going somewhere during the lockdown, and that person presented some paper. Okay, prescription था या क्या था कि that okay I'm going for this purpose. That officer said that okay you go. उसके बाद में 30 seconds बाद he called that person back. He slapped that person. He tore that paper or the prescription whatever he was having. He broke that person's mobile phone. Maybe you might have seen this on the social media. This happened. The conduct was done by an officer. Why these kind of things are happening? Because of emotional insensitivity that is there in the civil servants many a number of time. Either the officers, either the civil servants, they are emotionally passive or they are emotionally overzealous. Either they are emotionally passive, they don't feel any emotions, or they are emotionally overzealous. Both are the problems leading to, both of these things are leading to certain problems. So we need to make the civil servants as emotionally intelligent. They understand their emotions. They connect with the people's emotions. By the way, today's governance is based on this, is also based on this notion. 3 years back, there was an entire chapter in the economic survey. Fine. The name of the chapter was wiping every tear from every eye. Wiping every tear from every eye. Jawaharlal Nehru, he said in his Tryst with Destiny speech that my dream is to wipe every tear from every eye. Today government comes out with the taglines, governance with a human face. So governance with a human face, wiping every tear with every eye. What it entails that the governance is also shifting, and governance wants to connect with the people on emotional level, physical level, social level. And if the civil servants, they are not emotionally intelligent, can the governance goal of delivering the governance with a human face be completed? हो सकता है क्या ये? Okay, so what is emotional intelligence? What is emotional intelligence? What are the frameworks of emotional intelligence? Many other things. Emotional intelligence क्या है? Social intelligence क्या है? Fine. IQ, EQ, what are they? What is more important? IQ, EQ, AQ, adversity quotient. All these things are something that we are going to see in this particular topic. समझ में आ रहा है? Are you able to understand it? Then the topic number 5 is contribution of moral thinkers and philosophers from India and world. Okay, now this topic is actually a very important topic. Why? Two reasons. Reason number one, contribution of thinkers and philosophers from India and world. Direct questions have been asked from this particular topic. Question on John Rawls have been asked. Question on to the 7 social sins of Gandhiji has been asked. Secondly, the philosophies will help you to justify your answers in the case study as well. You remember I asked you one case study? In that case study, I asked you that what you will do. Now, what you are going to do? Either you say that, okay, I'm going to do this, put it. Secondly, whatever you are going to do, you can justify it by the deontology of Kant. You can justify it by utilitarianism. You can justify it by the idea of Niti and Nyaya given by Amartya Sen. You're getting it or not? So sometimes in the case study, when we need to suggest a viewpoint, there, substituting it along with the philosophy will help you in fetching better marks. दूसरी बात, कुछ आपने बोल भी दिया तो वो हमने थोड़ी बोला है, वो किसने बोला है? वो तो फिलोसोफर ने बोला है. हम तो बता रहे हैं कि that philosopher feels that ये होना चाहिए. It gives the authenticity to your. तो वो है ना 3 idiots कि सर बोल हो रहे हैं, लिख हम रहे हैं, पर ये विचार किसके हैं? ये उनके हैं. You getting it or not? So this is a topic which will have a lot of utility. Moreover, the teachings and the philosophies that we learn here, you can use it in sometimes in some direct or indirect way, even in your essays as well. देखो philosophy का बहुत importance हो रहा है अभी. UPSC was asking the 2 types of essays till 2020, before 2021. एक factual type of essay होता था, एक philosophical type of essay होता था. 2021 paper they have asked all the essays on philosophical theme. Okay, so we'll be going to help you. Then topic 6 and topic 7. Topic 6 and topic 7, largely they are administrative ethics. Administrative ethics, and there are certain other issues that are also there. For example, ethical issues in international relations is mentioned. Corporate governance is mentioned. So these are some different topics. More or less other topics are inspired. More or less the other topics are inspired from administrative ethics. You getting it? Okay. So here we'll see the philosophical basis of governance. Rules, laws, how the rules and laws many a times might support the ethics. Sometimes the different story might also be there. चलो अभी के टाइम पे सबसे हॉट इशू इंटरनेशनल रिलेशन में चल रहा है रशिया यूक्रेन क्राइसिस. यू एग्री विद दैट और नॉट? So within the Russia Ukraine crisis also there is an ethical angle that is there. You getting it or not? Even let's say that India's stand within this Russia Ukraine crisis, it also has its own ethical implications. Clear? So ethical issues in international relations, corporate governance, and largely administrative ethics, ethics and values in public administration, the status, problems, find the laws, rules, regulations, and conscience as source of ethical guidance. So ये topic 6 and topic 7 largely are administrative ethics. Topic 7 is more talking about information sharing, RTI, quality of service delivery, the problems in service delivery, okay, work culture, citizen charters, and all these things. Clear? This topic 6 and topic 7 is more inspired from the PubEd, public administration. But purely PubEd वाला part हम नहीं देखेंगे. We have to see it under the ethical lens. You're getting? And finally after that, we'll have the topic number 8, that is the topic on case studies. Ab case studies is specifically, mark my words very carefully, case study is a derivative of your topic number 1 to 7. The better the command you will have in topic 1 to 7, automatically your command over the case studies will improve. Case studies, you are being given a situation. In that situation, there are certain ethical dilemmas that are there. There are certain tough choices that are there. You need to justify certain of your choices. Here, you need to propagate a particular viewpoint. अब यहाँ पे emotional intelligence भी use करना पड़ेगा. You need to show your aptitude as well. There will be certain ethical dilemmas. You need to solve ethical dilemmas. You need to support your viewpoint by justifying it on the basis of certain philosophies, many such kind of things that will be there. You're getting it or not? So topic 1 to 7, the better the command you have on topic 1 to 7, automatically it will be reflected in your case studies. You're getting it or not? So simply आप ये बोल सकते हो that case study, this topic number 8, it is nothing but the application of all the topic 1 to 7 that we will be learning. But don't worry, I will be taking specifically around 4 or 5 classes on the case studies as well, because knowledge is one thing. How to exactly answer the case studies, different types of introductions that could be there, how to write the body, how to write the way forward, how to structure a case study. Are you getting what is the mindset you need to have for the case study? Fine. So that is the case studies that we are going to do. Now, when we talk about the case studies, okay, as of now, the case studies that have been asked, they could be divided more or less into these 5 templates that have been there. So this we have prepared after analyzing the case studies that have been asked from 2013 to 2021. So majorly the case studies are falling under these 5 templates. You're getting it or not? For example, the case studies, either they will be asking the question on ethical dilemmas, or simply they will be asking the ethical issues, or the case study might be asking about the managerial role of a civil servant, where you have to manage a crisis. It could be about a conflict between your moral principles on one hand and rubbing in with your political bosses. You're getting it or not? Every year, even this 2021, there was a case study on such kind of a line. Case studies with respect to social change and the case studies pertaining to a preference order, priority order. ठीक है, अभी इस पे बहुत ज्यादा नहीं डिस्कस करेंगे, because you will be able to understand this thing only when you have known a particular number of things in this GS paper number 4. Is it clear? So we'll be going to analyze the case studies as well. So in total, these are the 8 topics that have been there, which is given by the UPSC. Yes, sir. Yes. Yes. Yes, very good. Very good. See, first of all, you need to understand one thing. He has said, what's your name, sir? Okay, so Shrey says this thing that the paper is different from other GS 1, 2, 3 paper. There is a specific section such as polity is there, history is there, find certain type of knowledge we know that we need to show there. Okay, and we can get the marks. But in GS paper number 4, what is exactly the deal that is there? This is something, Shrey, that you are asking? Very good. Very good. Anybody can write here, that is right thing. See, GS 1, 2, 3, they are the papers which test your knowledge. GS 4 is not the paper to test your knowledge, this is the paper to test your character. समझ में आ रहा है? It is not the paper to test your knowledge, it is the paper to test your character. Anybody can write a generalistic answer, but when you are writing that generalistic answer, are you able to show a moral depth or not? That is something that will distinguish the marks that the people are getting. You're getting it or not? For example, a question was asked, the question was asked in the UPSC that what is happiness? What happiness means according to you? Ab happiness, everybody might have an idea that happiness ye hota hai. But how you present that happiness will show your moral aptitude. It will show your moral depth. For example, for you, happiness is clearing IAS officer. Let's say for some person, happiness is to just clear this exam. Happiness is just to earn money. Happiness is just to earn fame. Happiness could be the materialistic success. But for a morally enlightened person, happiness is nothing but a sense of contentment that one realizes after one has performed his duty. Happiness could be compared with the idea of eudaimonia given by Aristotle. यू गेटिंग इट और नॉट? तो एक हैप्पीनेस एक बहुत जनरल वर्ड है, इस पे हर कोई लिख सकता है, बट हाउ यू आर एक्सप्लेनिंग दिस सटल कंसेप्ट will be the fact which will distinguish. So the keywords that are there, how you are supporting your arguments, the more the case studies that you can add in your answers, the contemporary dimensions that you can add in your answer should not be completely utopian. How your answer is connected with the reality, how you are connecting your ethicality and morality with the real world situation. Utopianness नहीं होनी चाहिए. Are you getting it or not? Whether the practicality is there in your answers or not. All these things in a combined way, if they are there in your answer, you will be fetching the marks. अब प्रॉब्लम क्या होती है? प्रॉब्लम ये होती है कई बार हमने टू प्रैक्टिकल लिख दिया, मॉरल वाला एस्पेक्ट हमने छोड़ दिया. कई बार हमने इतना मॉरल कर दिया, इतना उटोपियन कर दिया कि दैट यू ऑल्सो नोस कि दैट प्रैक्टिकली इंप्लीमेंटेबल नहीं है. Sometimes you had made your answer completely static. You are not equating or you are not putting the contemporary dimensions there. You're getting it or not? Fine. Sometimes आपने उसको इतना डायनेमिक बना दिया कि दैट आपने एथिकलिटी ही नहीं दिखाई, आपने उसको जीएस 1 2 3 में जैसे लिखते हैं वैसे ही लिख दिया. So there is a fine balance that we need to achieve where all these things need to be there. And this is the only thing that we are going to see here in our ethics class. Okay, are you able to understand? Is that clear, Shrey? समझ में आया? ठीक है. तो देखो इन टॉपिक, these 8 topics that we are going to have. Now let's decode this paper. So you might be knowing this thing already, that the paper 4, it is divided in 2 sections. There is section A and then there is section number B. So section A, it is about our topic number 1 to 7 that we are going to read. Section number B, it will be the case studies. In terms of marks distribution, now 2021, 130 marks worth of questions were from section number A and 120 marks worth of questions were the case studies. So case studies as well as topic 1 to 7, they have equal weightage, more or less the equal weightage. Your case studies, the better you can write the case studies, the better you have the command in the topic number 1 to 7. Are you getting it or not? So this is the marks distribution that is here now that the UPSC is following. In total, ठीक है, we now have the 12 questions. Question 1 to 6 are from section A. Question number 7 to 12 are the case studies. अब सब पार्ट्स भी होते हैं, तो अगर आप पूछते हो तो क्वेश्चन वाइज इन टोटल there will be 19 questions. There will be 19 questions. ठीक है, केस स्टडीज अलग से आपकी हमारी यहाँ पे है. ओके, now see section A first of all, when we talk about it, broadly up till now the questions that are being asked from section number A1 to topic 7, 4 types of questions largely have been asked by the UPSC. 4 templates are there which we can find. Keyword based questions. You remember I told you that in the entire paper we find 31 keywords that are there, and then there are certain similar keywords that we are going to identify and will be preparing them. So keyword based questions are there, then the quotation based questions are there. Every year the quotation based questions are being asked. Even this year it has happened. Clear? So how to deal with the quotation based questions, how to answer them, all these things will be taking here. Personal opinion based questions. What happiness means to you? What do you understand by patriotism? Is it clear or not? So your personal opinion they're going to ask. And fourth is the questions on the theme of governance, good governance, crisis of governance. This is something that they are going to ask. In terms of marks distribution, if we see, okay, it is 35 and it is 170. Okay, so mind this minor mistake that is there. Okay, see, so keyword based category, largest number of questions have been asked up till now. 380 marks worth of questions are directly coming from the keyword based category. They are asking you a keyword and they are asking you to explain the keyword. Okay, sometimes the similar kind of keywords are being asked and they are asking you to explain the difference between these keywords. Are you getting? For example, ethical management and management of ethics. Okay, so keyword based questions, large number of questions are coming. And if we have a fair idea on the entire ethics syllabus, all the concepts even we understand, are you getting? Large share of questions can be expected directly out of that. Okay. Then quotation based questions are there. Personal opinion question 235 and 170 marks worth of questions based on to the theme of governance. You able to understand something? Okay, this is all given in your handout. You got the handout? Okay, is it given in your handout? Okay, and specifically in your handout, the breakup of 2021 is also there. Yes. Anji? Questions that are being asked, जितने questions आ रहे हैं directly keyword के ऊपर में, जैसे for example the ethics is a keyword. For example, the example we have taken, for example, the management of ethics and ethical management. These two keywords, how they get distinguished. Law versus ethics, how they are different. So directly they are picking the core keywords mentioned in those syllabus and they are asking question onto that. Okay. Yes. Okay. Now, the sources and the study materials that you are going to need here. Fine. See, when we talk about the sources and the study materials here, there are two types of sources. One are the optional. Optional means that if you feel like you can read it, if you don't want, you might skip it also. And then other are the non-negotiable. Okay. Or indispensable, or the ones that you should follow. सबसे पहले जब हम optionals basically जब sources and study materials की हम लोग बात करते हैं, first of all, see, second ARC report number 4 and report number 10 are there. Report number 4 and report number 10 are there, which specifically can help you in ethics. Okay. ARC, Administrative Reform Commission, second ARC, report 4th and report number 10. It has many of the important inputs which could be used into the ethics papers. Okay. I'll not say that आपको बहुत ज़्यादा इसको read करना है. Why? Because in the class notes that I am going to give you, okay, you have been given the handout. In the handout, so there will be mix of the handwritten notes as well as there will be the printed material. Okay. So in the class notes, both the 4th report and the 10th report I have already integrated in your notes. So for that reason, it is an optional source. If you want, you can read it. Otherwise, you might not. Are you getting it or not? Okay. Then we have certain ethics reference books. For example, lexicon is there. Which everybody who is preparing for ethics, he might be knowing. If you want, you can read that book, but nowadays I don't feel very much convinced and I don't have a lot of conviction in referring this particular source. Why? There is a reason. ठीक है, क्या reason है? Reason ये है that earlier the lexicon book used to be very thin kind of a book and it used to cover a kind of a fair it used to have a fair coverage over the ethics paper, but अभी क्या हो गया? The book is this thick. Clear? इतनी मोटी book हो गई है. So it is not the deal that आपने book को पढ़ लिया. The deal lies in the fact that whether you can retain all the things that you have read there or not. Clear? If you cannot retain the thing, reading it will not serve the purpose. So I talk on the retention fact कि retention हो सकता है या नहीं हो सकता. And because now the retention is difficult while reading this thick book, इसलिए I will be putting into the category of an optional source. Are you getting it or not? Then there will be the sources which you should follow. Number one, the most important will be the class notes. Why the class notes I am talking about? ऐसा नहीं है कि that मैंने बनाया है तो वो सबसे अच्छे होंगे और मेरे को पब्लिसाइज करना ही है. This is not the reason. Reason lies in the fact that every day I am explaining you certain concepts. Then the concepts have been provided you in your handout, which you are revising on everyday basis. This is something which can make a very solid foundation of yours. Are you getting it or not? देखो, every day reading certain content, first of all understanding, then reading it and then internalizing it on a gradual, on a long-term basis will obviously be able to build a very good foundation. when we talk about the core class notes, you will be getting the class notes which will be having two broad themes mainly. Number one, before every class, the class notes that will be given, it will be having the entire framework of the class. Is it clear or not? All the things that we are going to discuss, they are provided. Fine, there will be a colorful book. Okay. Secondly, the value addition matter in a printed format within the booklet will be provided to you, because many a times we have seen this thing that sir समझ में तो सब कुछ आ गया, but इसको लिखें कैसे? Is this the problem that you face? Is that okay sir, I got it, लेकिन 4 पॉइंट कैसे लिखें? So for that particular purpose, in the class handout you will be given the printed content also, which will be updated with the current affairs. You're getting it or not? And एक चीज बहुत अच्छे से याद रखनी है, इन एथिक्स करंट अफेयर्स इज गोइंग टू प्ले अ वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट रोल. अब 2013-14 वाला पेपर नहीं है. नाउ यू नीड टू सब्स्टिट्यूट द कंटेम्पररी डायमेंशंस, विदाउट दैट यू कैन नॉट डू. यू आर गेटिंग इट और नॉट? ठीक है. सो इन द क्लास नोट्स वी विल बी हैविंग द हैंड रिटन, वी विल बी हैविंग द प्रिंटेड नोट्स इंक्लूडिंग द सेकेंड ARC, report number 4th, report number 10th, then the reference books, for example, the idea of justice, the Niti and Nyaya of Amartya Sen, all these things have been integrated. Then in the non-negotiable sources that are there, I will be talking on one more source, that is your current affairs. अब current affairs के अंदर में there are certain sources that you can follow. Okay, number one, there will be टाइम्स ऑफ इंडिया. टाइम्स ऑफ इंडिया के अंदर में एक सेक्शन आता है स्पीकिंग ट्री. स्पीकिंग ट्री. नाउ लिसन, यू डोंट नीड टू गेट अ टाइम्स ऑफ इंडिया सब्सक्रिप्शन, ऐसा लेने की जरूरत नहीं है. यू नीड टू मेक अ रिचुअल. हाउ? once every 15 days or 20 days, just visit the Times of India website and in the blog section go to the speaking tree section. अब speaking tree के अंदर में see, every day the relevant articles are not coming. Sometimes the articles are there which are not relevant, but sometimes there are very good articles that are coming. Directly they are talking on certain ethics and moral issues which could be used in your papers. तो स्पीकिंग ट्री में आपको 2-3 आर्टिकल 15-20 दिन में मैक्सिमम मिलेंगे. Sometimes in 15 days there might not even be one article. But if we see the frequency of good articles that are there, 1 or 2 articles you'll be finding in 15 or 20 days. So make a ritual that हर महीने की 20 तारीख को एक बार देख लो, या हर 15 दिन में एक बार देख लो. Speaking tree in Times of India, and then in the Hindu there is one more section that comes by the name of faith. So in the section of faith also, particularly for the philosophy section, some good articles sometimes they come. Many times metaphysics and उसका चलता है, वो नहीं इतना important है, but sometimes some value addition is going to come here. Again the same ritual. ठीक है, 15-20 days once you can just on the internet, on the website of Hindu Faith and Times of India, the speaking tree, you can refer, and if there is something there you can just note it down in your notes. Is it clear or not? After that, generally you need to have a kind of a keen eye on the newspapers also, because there also certain articles are coming which are directly relevant. These articles, if you read them, from here you will be deriving the content that you can write in your answers. You will be deriving the keywords that you can present in your answers. ठीक है? But यहाँ पे फिर एक practical problem आ जाती है. One very practical problem comes here, that sir, fine, but how to identify that which type of articles will be relevant from the ethics point of view? So I am going to show you certain articles here. All have been picked up from the newspapers recently. So on these lines you need to identify the articles and you need to add in your notes. So थोड़े से examples हम लोग देख लेते हैं, so that you can understand, you can have a fair idea while you yourself will be going to read the newspaper, what to look and what not to look for. Fine. So certain articles I have taken up here. For example, now this article was taken from the Hindu newspaper. Read the heading. Floodlit pitch and sports bank help Arunachal town kick the habit. Okay. So this is the story. Basically, this is the story of Arunachal. What happened? the town which is being talked about here, drug abuse was very much rampant. Large number of youth, majority of the youth, they were in the drug abuse. Okay. So what happened? The ADC, that is the Additional Deputy Commissioner, ADC, Additional Deputy Commissioner, his name was Sunny K. Singh. Sunny K. Singh, he came out with an idea and he decided to renovate the stadium. He decided to he procured the sports kit and provided it to the youth. And over a few months, it was observed that the drug abuse rate came down and the youth, they started to get involved in sporting activities. And the district is doing very much good here. Are you getting? By the community, through the community meet, he sensitized the people. Drug peddling, drug addiction, which was a very big problem, it has been solved here. Okay, is it clear or not? So now देखो अब क्या होता है, when you're writing the answers, you many a times while you write, for example, you're writing an answer onto the foundational value. Okay, how the civil servants are becoming the change makers. You need to put certain examples of certain officers. Okay, the examples, if you remember the topic number 4, the lives from the lessons of the lives of administrators. So how administrators are becoming the change makers, how certain administrators are bringing the turnaround on many of the serious issues. समझ में आ रहा है? So we can get certain examples from here. Is it clear or not? So these kind of things will be coming, which you need to pick up and you need to add. Now, one more. Supreme Court judge asks new CBI SIs to inculcate integrity. To inculcate integrity. Is it clear or not? So here a kind of a keyword has been used. Okay. Justice Dinesh Maheshwari, he used the word institutional integrity. Institutional integrity. Institutional integrity. What is institutional integrity? Institutional integrity calls upon you to understand what your surroundings are, what your institution requires, what is required of the best of your I to our we. Very beautifully, not only the value has just been quoted, but the value has also been explained. Is it clear or not? So integrity के बहुत सारे dimensions होते हैं. Personal integrity is there, professional integrity is there, institutional integrity it is being talked about. Fine. Few days back, just it was in 2021. You remember every year Delhi faces the problem of pollution. Okay? Now on that particular thing, what the Supreme Court Chief Justice of India used a word. Supreme Court used the word bureaucratic inertia. Bureaucratic inertia. What is bureaucratic inertia? Bureaucratic inertia, he said that bureaucrats, they had actually developed a kind of a habit that they don't take any action until and unless some higher authorities is specifically asking them to take some action. It was said that every year officers know this thing that the pollution problem is going to come, but nobody is taking some steps. They are waiting that the NGT will come, they will give some directions, the Supreme Court will give some directions. Well, what is this? He said that a bureaucratic inertia has developed. How to avoid this bureaucratic inertia? By bringing bureaucratic compassion, by bringing bureaucratic activism. Not specifically a kind of a negative activism, but a responsible activism. Are you able to understand something? So basically, the keywords that are being talked here, these keywords, the question could be asked by the UPSC A. Secondly, you can use it in your answers as a way of value addition. समझ में आ रहा है? अब देखो, इसी साल, this year, now this is a very common question that UPSC asks. For example, this year there's a question asked that what is the 10 values of a civil servant that you believe are more important? 2021 paper, the question was asked. We are writing on certain exhibity values, but one way, if you write the value such as the institutional integrity as suggested by the Supreme Court recently, and you explain that value, don't you think it will give a kind of a better impression in comparison to the answers that others are writing? Do you think that कुछ extra advantage मिलेगा? Fine, you know that 1 marks even if you get, हाउ मच रैंक्स डिफरेंस कैन 1 मार्क मेक? पता है ना कि एक मार्क्स का डिफरेंस कितने रैंक का डिफरेंस ला सकता है? तो ये एक एक दो मार्क्स ही हैं which are giving which will give you the value addition. Let's take some other examples. Now, in topic number 1 we have applied ethics. In applied ethics there is a biomedical ethics. Biomedical ethics. Now this article, what happened, the Delhi High Court had allowed, this article came in the news that High Court allows women to terminate a 28-week pregnancy. As per Medical Termination Pregnancy Act, fine, which is now amended, the women by 24 weeks can abort a child if the two medical practitioner allows that. Now in this case the woman was 28-week pregnant, but she discovered that the fetus is suffering from the congenital heart disease, which was a substantial abnormality, and it could have threatened the life of both the mother as well as the fetus. You're getting it or not? अब देखो समझो, bringing the debate, what lies here is that, see, when we talk about the abortion, in the applied ethics, ethics of abortion, there are two type of viewpoints that are there. Two type of people that are there. One is the pro-choice viewpoint. Other is the pro-life viewpoint. Pro-life and pro-choice. Now, what these two viewpoints talk about? Pro-choice. Pro-life. Pro-life. These people, they say that the abortion cannot be carried, should not be carried. Carrying an abortion is unethical, it is immoral. Why? Because the fetus himself, herself, or the fetus itself, it has a life of its own. Okay, and it is nothing but an act of murder. So abortion is not justified on any case. Pro-life debate. Pro-choice debate, they says that no, at the end of the day, the mother should be given an autonomy to decide. The woman, she is the one who has conceived the child, and as a part of her reproductive rights, she should be given an autonomy to decide whether she wants to carry forward the pregnancy or not. So the pro-choice debate, people, they say that the abortion should be allowed. Are you getting? हमने क्या किया है? India may we have taken the mix of both through the Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act. We have respected the choice also. We have respected the life also. Up till a time you can abort. After a time you might not abort. But what about the exceptions such as these? But what about the exceptions? So here the Delhi High Court had favored what? Pro-life or pro-choice in this case? Pro-choice or pro-life? Pro-choice. It had allowed the women. Question on environmental ethics have been asked. Question on applied ethics many times have been asked. So here, if we know such kind of a case studies, we can put it in our answers to substantiate our viewpoints. And because ऐसा कोई controversy चल रहा है, तो आपको ये भी समझ आना चाहिए कि that UPSC भी कोई ऐसा क्वेश्चन पूछ सकती है. Because the UPSC, the ethics questions are being asked on the basis of contemporary developments that are going on. समझ में आ रहा है? This year the question on refugee crisis has been asked. You are understanding the point or not? Right? So you need to give a lot of attention on the case, on the current affairs issues that are going on. Two reasons. Number one, they will help you in the value addition, and the reason number two, they will also able to predict, will be giving you a kind of a power to predict that what type of things could be asked, and हम ready made उन चीजों को prepare करके रख सकते हैं. Yes or no? ठीक है. चलो, this is one more issue that is there. Now I'll tell you first of all what is the issue. The issue is this. Case number 1. Final phase of Khori Basti demolition begins. Now Khori Basti, it was a unregularized colony in the Delhi NCR, and it was ordered that the Basti should be demolished. Okay, the Supreme Court gave that order that it should be demolished. Here, 5,000, more than 5,000, basically the 5,000, more than 5,000 households were there. So many people were living in them. Just in a nick of time, thousands and thousands of people became homeless. Why? Because this area was demolished. Case 1. Case 2. For Delhi's street vendors, it's not business as usual after High Court order. So the court ordered here that the vendors who are vending the hawkers in the market such as the Lajpat Nagar, they will be removed from their those places. They cannot vend there. These two cases happened. Now see this thing. The order came by the Supreme Court, or order came by the High Court. Fine. And you need to remove certain people from the vending, and you need to demolish certain houses. Whatever is going to happen here, will it be lawful or not? Obviously it is lawful. Ordered by the judiciary, it is lawful. But is it ethical? Understand this thing. Certain points I'll bring forward to your notice. See, number one, in the pandemic, we are asking the people that you should stay home. We are asking the people that you should stay home. We are asking the people to follow the social distancing. Is it clear? You are asking them to be in your homes to follow the social distancing, but at the same time, their roofs have been taken, their houses have been taken. Secondly, their livelihood is being snatched here. Pandemic has been a kind of a pandemic, has given a lot of miseries to the people. People have lost their livelihood. They faced so much of economic sufferings because of the lockdown that was going on. And now as the lockdown has been relieved, such kind of things are coming. United Nations Declaration of Human Rights 1948 that India has signed as well as ratified provide that right to livelihood and the right to shelter are the inalienable rights. Are you getting it or not? So on the face of it, snatching the roof of a person and snatching the livelihood of a person, which are the basic necessities, doesn't look ethical in a welfarist state. Yes or no? Doesn't seems to be ethical in a welfarist state. Are you getting? But obviously, if you are an officer and if you have to do it, you are following the law. Here, can you see the rivalry between the law and ethics? What is legal might not be ethical. What is legal might not be ethical. कभी उल्टा भी हो सकता है क्या? A thing is ethical but not legal. One way. Legal but not ethical. Yes or no? समझ में आ रहा है या नहीं आ रहा है? Legal but not ethical. Are you able to understand? Good. Can it also be the case that certain things could be ethical but not legal? ऐसा भी हो सकता है. Can you give me one example? Okay, chalo. Very good. Any other example?
That part basically not BRI. That went out of the way and we put the resting of the now we have to arrange like 2 grades for these by hook or by crook. That is your decision. We provided 2 grades for all the next brackets. Ethical but not legal.
Okay, he did it by crook. Chalo, dekhte hain. Okay. So sometimes it could be the case that certain things could be ethical but might not be legal as well. Okay, so चलो ये controversy है. चलो एक example ले लेते हैं, basic से example लेते हैं. Suppose you are a police officer and somebody reports you that a person has stolen something. You went to investigate that matter and you found that a poor person, a very very poor person and an old person had stolen 2 chapatis. Had stolen 2 chapatis because he want to feed her granddaughter who is just 3 years old. He was a rickshaw puller and because of the pandemic he was not able to earn any livelihood. Government help didn't even came. Clear, he was a migrant from some other state. He was not able to entitled to get the food under the National Food Security Act and nowhere he was able to afford the food. Fine, his granddaughter was on the brink of starvation. So in order to feed her he had just stolen 1 chapati or 2 chapatis. Is it clear or not? Now you arrest that person, you snatch those 2 chapatis, and let that poor girl die because of the starvation. Will it be ethical? No, it will not be ethical in any sense. But you don't file an FIR. Will it be legal? In a way, if you see. You're getting it or not? So sometimes there are the rivalries between the law versus ethics as well. Can a question be framed on such kind of a line? So कुछ एग्जाम्पल्स भी होने चाहिए ना. दिस इज अ क्लासिक केस ऑफ दैट थिंग. अब यहां पे करेंगे क्या, आप क्या करोगे? विल यू फॉलो लॉ और विल यू फॉलो एथिक्स? व्हाट यू विल डू? यू विल ट्राई. बैलेंस क्या है? बैलेंस या तो बुलडोजर चढ़ा दो. अब ऐसा थोड़ी होगा चलो बुलडोजर से 2 कमरे तोड़ देते हैं, 2 छोड़ देते हैं. यस, वेरी गुड. Yes, you need to strive out certain way outs. And see, when we talk about the justification behind these things, you need to know about certain aspects. For example, here, how we can justify such kind of a things? By the help of 2 great people, Professor Amartya Sen and Rawls. Rawls' idea of Niti and Nyaya is something that could be used here. Rawls' idea of Niti and Nyaya. Rawls had a different idea on justice. Rawls had a different idea on justice. Okay, Amartya Sen has a different idea on justice, and Amartya Sen's Niti and Nyaya approach, he feels that the Nyaya is more important than the Niti. Justice is more important than the Niti just than following the law. So we need to get equipped with such kind of things. We are going to read it, by the way. No need to bother in the classes that we are going to. You're understanding something or not? So you need to have an idea about these things. You need to collect such kind of an issues that might be erupting through the newspapers. This is something that is the preparation all about. Clear? So let's take 1-2 more examples in this particular line. चलो कोविड के ऊपर में एक आ जाता है. COVID-19 booster shots make mockery of equity. WHO says less than 2% of the population of 1.3 billion people in Africa is fully vaccinated. ठीक है? What is happening? Rich countries are going for the booster shots. Third shot for the COVID-19 vaccine they are giving to their people. But in Africa, in sub-Saharan Africa, in Latin America, people have not been vaccinated. Is it vaccine equity? Is it vaccine equity? No. It is the mockery of vaccine equity. समझ में आ रहा है या नहीं आ रहा है? This is a pandemic not only fallen on one country, rather this is a crisis for the entire humanity. And we need to have, rather than a shallow perspective on it, we need to have a kind of a broader viewpoint on it. We say now that if until everyone is safe, no one is safe. You're getting it or not? It is another view as how the rich and the haves and have-nots are getting a different kind of a treatment. You're getting it or not? Even you remember the topic number 6, ethical issues and international issues. You're getting? So it is a failure of the world countries on a global scale if they are not coming to help with to the poor countries. ठीक है? ओके. अब एक ये वाला केस आया था, वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग केस. हैव यू हर्ड इट? चलो बता देता हूं पहले केस क्या था. द केस वाज दिस, दैट देयर वाज अ कपल, दे हैड अ चाइल्ड. Okay, the child was suffering with the thalassemia. Because of that, the child has to take the blood transfusions after every few days. Okay, the quality of the life of the child was turned very bad because of this particular thing that was going on. Now, only option was the bone marrow transplant that could be given to the child. But the parents were not able to donate. They were not the compatible donors for the bone marrow. The couple, they thought that we will conceive another child. And that another child's bone marrow that will conceive will be given to the child who is suffering from this. They conceived a child. A girl was born. The name of the girl was Kavya Solanki case. The girl was born. Now the girl donated the bone marrow. Okay, the child was then he was treated. Obviously, what has happened here? It is something different, but with respect to the ethics, it opens up a kind of a dimension. Viewpoint 1, people will say that this is unethical. Viewpoint 1 says this is unethical. Viewpoint number 2 will say that it is ethical. Why unethical and why ethical? सबसे पहले तो लोग जो बोलेंगे कि ये ethical क्यों है? They'll say that, see, what happened? At the end of the day, the girl donated the bone marrow. The girl is recovered. The girl is recovered properly. The the another child who was suffering from this deadly disease, and his entire life was a kind of a punishment, his quality of life has improved drastically. You're getting it or not? So at the end of the day, kharab kya hua? We have science have advanced so much, why not to use that science for giving a good quality of life? Ethical koi garat nahi hai. Another people will say it is unethical. Why it is unethical? Because Immanuel Kant, the German philosopher, he says that the humans should always be treated as an end in itself and not as the means. Here, the girl that has been born has been used as a means. She has been used as a vehicle. A child should be born only out of a love. But here the child has not been born completely out of a love. Rather, it seems that the child has been born out of a necessity. You're getting it or not? The girl looks like as a she has been raised, she has just been conceived to be a vehicle. It degrades the supreme existence of humankind. कुछ समझ में आ रहा है या नहीं आ रहा? So you need to have an idea about these cases that are going on. Why? Case study could be asked there. You can, a question inspired by such kind of things could be there. You can, now ये deontology और teleology का debate है. समझ में आ रहा है या नहीं आ रहा? So in these ways we need to tackle the current affairs that are coming. कुछ समझ में आ रहा है या नहीं आ रहा? ठीक है, are you able to understand the approach? ठीक है, so many such kind of things are coming in the newspapers. अब ऐसा नहीं है कि that when you are extracting these relevant issues you need to just take the note, मतलब 15-20 पेज का बना के नोट रख लो, ऐसा नहीं करना है. You're getting just references, keywords, core issues, core matters that are there in the relevant. First of all, though, whenever the news is coming, you need to identify that in which section it will have an importance. Just fix it there only. Just put it there only. Are you getting it or not? So this is something, the approach that you need to discuss here. Many other things are, such kind of articles could also be there. समझ में आ गया? Okay. Question number 1. Have you understood the nature of this subject? Have you understood the nature of this subject? Very good. Have you understood the syllabus? Syllabus दिमाग में है? चलो, at least it is the worth of our time कि चलो syllabus तो दिमाग में है, वो सबसे बड़ी जरूरी इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है. You understood that how to approach it and how to extract the current affairs also. ठीक है, तो एक छोटा सा टॉपिक डिस्कस कर लेते हैं. नॉट अ टॉपिक, लेट्स डिस्कस. वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट एथिक्स. व्हाट इज एथिक्स? व्हाट इज एथिक्स? व्हाट इज एथिक्स? किसी भी एक्शन को जस्टिफाई करना एथिक्स है. मैंने मर्डर कर दिया किसी का, मैं जस्टिफाई कर देता हूं दैट. ओके ओके, चलो, व्हाट एल्स? ओके, व्हाट एल्स? बैलेंस बिटवीन लॉ एंड मॉरल वैल्यूज. चलो, गुड. व्हाट एल्स? Rationale behind committing any act. Okay. See, when we talk about the ethics, ethics is derived from the Greek word ethos. Ethos means something related to your character. What is ethics? First of all, the ethics could be beautifully defined as how Mahabharata puts it. Mahabharata, what Mahabharata says? Mahabharata says, आत्मना प्रतिकूलानि परेशा ना समाचरित. ओके, आत्मना प्रतिकूलानि परेशा ना समाचरित. What it means? It means आत्मना प्रतिकूलानि. आत्मना प्रतिकूलानि means what is प्रतिकूल to you, what is bad to you, what is adverse to you. What is bad to you, what is adverse to you, you should not do the same to the other people. If something is bad for me, you should not do that thing to other people. Understanding it is ethics. Understanding it is ethics. Fine. Do not do unto others as you would not be done by. Okay, is it written in your handout? ऐसा जरूरी नहीं है कि संस्कृत के कोट लिखने हैं. You can just simply give the explanation that Mahabharata defines ethics as not doing an act which you feel adversarial to you, to other people. See, when we talk about ethics, approaching ethics, there is a different views as how we should look to ethics. The basic definition of ethics. Ethics is nothing but the study of the human behavior. Ethics is the study of the human behavior under the lens of right and wrong, just and unjust, desirable and undesirable. What is ethics? Repeat after me. Study of human behavior. Study of human behavior under the lens of right and wrong, desirable and undesirable. For example, suppose a human, you see a human, what the human has done, a human is exploiting the another person, a person is exploiting another poor person. You see his action of exploitative nature. By seeing his action, I can know whether the person is ethical or not. So ethics is the study of human behavior under the lens of right and wrong. You're getting it or not? Ethics outlines that what ought to be, what should be desirable, what should be ideal behavior, what should be ideal conduct, what should be ideal way to live your life. Is it clear or not? So ethics is simply the study of human behavior under the lens of right and wrong, good and bad. Now, इसके बाद में real story starts. Fine, we got it that ethics is about good and bad. But exactly what is good and what is bad, how to know that? How to know it? What is good, what is bad, how to know it? Is it clear or not? This is something that we are going to learn here in this entire paper. Okay? A person who has murdered. Okay, there was a popular story of Tugan Troy. Okay, there was a person, he used to keep two guns always. ठीक है, और वो किसी को भी मार देता था. ठीक है. What happened? One day he was in a car, okay, with a lady. Okay, one police officer came. Police officer just asked that what you are doing here in the car. What he did, he shot on that police officer just because he has asked him. Then there were a lot of police behind that person. Okay, one day police was chasing him and police found that he is hiding in a hotel room. Okay, then the police, they surrounded the hotel building and they were asking that person that you come out of this building. Okay, and there that person who had murdered another police officer in a heartbeat, he is asking that I don't know that why these people are chasing a good person like me. What I have done? I have never done anything wrong in my life. You're getting it or not? ठीक है, कुछ समझ में आ रहा है? So even the terrorists who are committing a suicide bombing mission, they think that they are doing in the name of good. Don't they think they are doing in the name of good? But is it really a good? What is good? What is bad? Ethics is the study of human behavior under the good and bad. But what is exactly good? What is bad? Knowing the difference between the good and bad is also something. This is only the thing that we need to see here. हाँ जी. यही समझना है हमको. There are many factors which will decide between the good and the bad. The number one is the rationality. The number one is rationality. Okay, there is rationality, then there is legality also, which will determine what is good and what is bad. Completely a democratic nation में legality को नहीं forget कर सकते. There are many of the aspects of that. Societal maturity. Are you getting it or not? Societal maturity, the legality, the rationality. Then basically the extent of welfareism that is associated with an action. You're getting? समझ में आ रहा है? So this is that we are going to do in ethics. Are you able to understand the pearls of the subject? ठीक है. So you have got the handout ना everybody. So the handouts will be there where देखो personally the class should be more on interactive lines. So whatever we are going to discuss will be provided you in a crisp handout. Okay, so that focus can be more on understanding the things, and the printed materials will be given associated with the topics that are going to discuss. Okay, if you have any general example, you can ask now. Sorry, any general query if you have, you can ask now. राइट टाइम तो ये है कि जितना जल्दी कर लो प्रिपरेशन उतना अच्छा है. रीजन 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 जितना जल्दी कर लो अच्छा है. रीजन उसका ये है कि दैट एथिक्स इज मोर अबाउट द प्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ योर आंसर्स. द मोर सूनर यू कंप्लीट द एथिक्स, द मोर टाइम यू कैन डिवोट इन राइटिंग केस स्टडीज, द मोर टाइम यू कैन डिवोट इन राइटिंग आंसर्स. बिकॉज देखो एथिक्स के आंसर्स का अप्रोच विल बी डिफरेंट देन द अप्रोच दैट यू विल टेक फॉर अदर जीएस पेपर्स. You have to write 100 very bad answers before writing the good answers. So the early you prepare the ethics, the early you can start writing, you can start doing the value addition. Fine. Yes. No, that is not the case. GS के अंदर में history, polity, geography, they don't have directly any connection here. So it is not the case that नहीं उनका पता होना. बेसिक सी चीजें, फॉर एग्जांपल आई एम यूजिंग द वर्ड फंडामेंटल राइट्स, तो यू माइट बी हैविंग एन आइडिया कि फंडामेंटल राइट क्या होते हैं, इवन यू डोंट नो द स्पेसिफिक आर्टिकल्स. Fine, we don't expect that okay here you need to have a prior knowledge about other subjects or the prior knowledge about the ethics itself. One thing, the empty your brain is about the ethics, the better you will be able to make the concepts. Because क्या होता है, हमने सुना तो होता है एथिक्स के बारे में, कुछ ना कुछ कीवर्ड्स हमने सुने तो होते हैं, बट ऑफन आवर आइडिया इज नॉट रिफाइंड. आवर आइडिया इज मेनी टाइम्स बेस्ड ऑन सम अदर काइंड ऑफ रॉन्ग नोशंस. सो इवन आई डोंट एक्सपेक्ट दैट ओके यू शुड नो अबाउट द एथिक्स. ये चलो मैं ऐसा नहीं है कि दैट ओके डीओंटोलॉजी तो पता ही होगा. नो, आई एक्सपेक्ट दैट यू डोंट नो. ओके, एंड द बेटर empty mind you are sitting in the class, it is good in a way. Okay, yes, any other thing? See, first of all तो अगर आप देखोगे तो इनका कोई नंबर्स है नहीं. थाउजेंड्स एंड थाउजेंड्स ऑफ लीडर्स, रिफॉर्मर्स एंड थिंकर्स हैं. वी नीड टू आइडेंटिफाई एटलीस्ट 20-30 those which have given a very good contribution and the different types of contribution, so that different dimensions we have. Okay, so that is something attempt that we are going to make here. Yes, any other doubt, any other issue here? Very good. हाँ जी, किस चीज के लिए, मतलब एथिक्स के लिए. देखो सबसे पहले क्या है कि दैट देखो you could read certain books and those kind of things, but I'll not suggest that thing with a lot of conviction in ethics. Why? Because when we read ethics, there are many of the keywords that are there which many times we don't have an idea about. Okay, and अगर पहले ही डायरेक्टली जाके उनको पढ़ना स्टार्ट कर दोगे और अगर इंटरेस्ट नहीं आया तो क्या होगा, एट आफ्टर अ पर्टिकुलर टाइम यू विल स्टार्ट हेटिंग दैट एंटायर सब्जेक्ट. ओके, हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू हियर डोंट लाइक मैथ्स? Okay, is the mathematics a wrong subject or a bad subject? No. Why mathematics many people have a repulsion for? It is because at some point of a time they got divorced with the concepts that were there. Either the teacher was not good or they did not pay any attention, and at the end of the day they end up hating the subject as a whole. I don't want this to happen here. इसीलिए देखो क्या होता है that कई बार जब आप बुक मतलब बुक में कोई चीज लिखी हुई है डायरेक्टली, इट इज रिटन फ्रॉम अ पर्टिकुलर लेवल दैट you know certain basics. In a case you don't know, it create a kind of a confusion, it creates certain wrong ideas, notions to crop up. इसीलिए ये चीज है. बाकी पढ़ने के लिए you can refer to the books that I have. सेकेंड ARC पढ़ सकते हो, फोर्थ ARC आप पढ़ सकते हो, ठीक है, लेक्सिकन भी आप पढ़ सकते हो. So this is the entire answer that I'll. अगर एक बहुत अच्छा, वैसे अगर उस क्यूरियोसिटी के लिए पढ़ना है तो आई सजेस्ट यू रीड अ बुक ऑफ जस्टिस सैंडल, माइकल सैंडल्स बुक बाय द नेम ऑफ जस्टिस। रीड अ बुक बाय द नेम ऑफ जस्टिस माइकल सैंडल। ठीक है, वो इंटरेस्टिंग बुक है। ठीक है, बहुत ज्यादा कभी कभी थोड़ी सी टेक्निकलिटीज आ जाती है, उनको थोड़ा सा अवॉइड करना, बट दैट इज अ गुड बुक, यू कैन रीड दैट। जस्टिस, यस। I didn't got your question. Can you repeat it again? Yes. Yes. You should have some of the keywords, and in fact, for that matter, whatever provided in this entire syllabus, that you should have. वो तो सारा होना ही चाहिए, उसके अलावा भी बहुत सारी चीजें हैं which you need to collect, which you need to add in your notes. Yes, you can do that. You can do that if you have it. If you have, you can do it. Very good. हाँ जी, yes. पहली बात तो एक साल का कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव प्लान क्या बना सकते हो, ये मेरा एक सबसे बड़ा क्वेश्चन है। नहीं, I'm not saying that this is thing. See, there is a kind of एक जाके एक वर्ड सर्च करना, प्लानिंग फैलेसी। ठीक है, मतलब जस्ट एक जनरल आइडिया आई एम शेयरिंग सम, if in case it can help you out. See what happens generally, we have an idea of planning and our plan looks like this, that I will start, for example, from here and I will reach here. Okay, this is something that we have in mind and we make a plan, but actually how your journey is going to be, your journey will probably start like this, then it will go something like this. ठीक है, बीच में क्या आ गया, बीमार हो गए, कुछ शादी आ गई, कुछ भी हो गया, मन ही नहीं कर रहा है। ठीक है, फिर समथिंग इट माइट बी लाइक दिस, इट विल गो समथिंग लाइक दिस, फिर इट विल बी लाइक दिस, फिर समथिंग लाइक दिस, एंड दस यू विल बी रीचिंग दैट थिंग। अब प्रॉब्लम क्या, प्रॉब्लम ये है कि दैट these are the problems that are going to be there in your way. You have not accounted it, but they are going to come. The moment they will come, you will not be in a sanity to understand that this is a part of your life. You will just be looking on unmet goals. You will be looking on unmet deadlines, and you will be cursing yourself that I am a undedicated, undisciplined kind of a person and I am no good. You're getting, it is going to erode your self-confidence. It is going to erode your, मतलब it is मतलब आपको पता है कि आप नहीं कर सकते हो कुछ भी, but still you are becoming the victim of your circumstances. तो एक प्रैक्टिकल रीजन है, मेरे को ये मैं नहीं कह रहा हूं कि बनाओ ही मत, बट ये चीजें होंगी, लेकिन जब होंगी तब आप इतने समझदार नहीं होंगे कि आप जान जाओ कि अरे यार कोई बात नहीं, हो गया, तब आपको क्या लगेगा, आई एम नो गुड, मेरे को करना ही नहीं चाहिए था, आई एम वेस्टिंग माई टाइम, आई एम वेस्टिंग माई पेरेंट्स मनी, आई एम डूइंग दिस, आई एम डूइंग दैट, आई एम डूइंग दैट, दिस इज द इशू। Are you getting it or not? So you should have a, but इसीलिए this is certain thing that I'm going to, if you are mature enough that no sir I'll manage, then yes you can go forward, क्योंकि आपको नहीं पता ना कि किस दिन आपको बुखार होगा, आपको नहीं पता कि किस दिन आपका मन ही नहीं करेगा कि नहीं पढ़ना, बस क्यों नहीं पढ़ना, नहीं पढ़ना। We are humans, at the end of the day we are on the mercy of our moods and emotions, you cannot overrule that. But those things we don't get anticipate, we are not able to anticipate in a entire एक साल का जब प्लान बना देते हैं तो प्रैक्टिकलिटी में थोड़ा सा ज्यादा विश्वास रखता हूं। मेरे अकॉर्डिंग प्लान जो होना चाहिए वो आपका 7 दिन 10 दिन से ज्यादा का नहीं होना चाहिए, बिकॉज दिस इज ओनली अ फोरसेबल फ्यूचर विच वी कैन मैनेज। नेक्स्ट 7 days 8 days इज समथिंग जो हेवायर चला भी गया, you will again have a fresh start after 7 days कि चलो कोई बात नहीं, दोबारा से स्टार्ट कर सकते हैं। 7 days 8 days is something you know कि that what your engagements are going to be, पता है आपको अगले 10 दिन में तो भाई नहीं कहीं बाहर जाना, और होगा तो ऐसे छोटे मोटे एंगेजमेंट आप उसको हटा भी सकते हो। इज इट क्लियर? बट यू कैन टेक इट विद अ पिंच ऑफ सॉल्ट, ऐसा नहीं है कि मैंने बता दिया तो ऐसा ही है। ठीक है, अगेन बी कमिंग ऑन दैट थिंग। यस सर। यू शुड हैव GS4। GS4 में देखो उतना ज्यादा आएगा नहीं, उतना ज्यादा GS4 में उतनी जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी, बिकॉज GS4 basically sometimes you need to show a kind of a different player, moral, ethical, philosophical player वहां पे दिखाने का ज्यादा जरूर पड़ता है। Are you getting it or not? So specifically, I'll not say that that will be a foolproof strategy to adopt here in GS4. 1 to 3 में काम करेगा। Yes, you can, but the thing is that GS 1 2 3 पॉलिटी, हिस्ट्री, ज्योग्राफी जो, तो इसको वी अज्यूम्ड है कि कोर सब्जेक्ट्स हो जाते हैं, तो जनरली हम स्टार्ट वहीं से करते हैं। दैट इज ओनली द थिंग। हाँ, सी यू कैन डू दैट, यू कैन डू दैट, आप बिल्कुल कर सकते हो, ठीक है, यू कैन डू दैट, आप बिल्कुल उसको कर सकते हो, एंड डूइंग इट फर्स्ट इज नॉट अ रॉन्ग थिंग ऑल्सो। जनरली मैं आपको बता रहा हूं कि होता क्या है कि हम कोर सब्जेक्ट्स को पहले करते हैं, बट यस वट एवर यू आर सेइंग इट इज वैलिड, इट इज 100% वैलिड। यस 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 यू कैन। बिल्कुल यू कैन डू दैट एज अ हैबिट, यू कैन कल्टिवेट इट, इट इज अ गुड हैबिट, बट देखो कीवर्ड ऐसा करके नहीं आप प्रिपेयर कर सकते हो कि दैट ओके मैं तो 100 कीवर्ड पढ़ लूंगा और उसमें से कोई ना कोई क्वेश्चन आ जाएगा। कीवर्ड्स आर एंडलेस। यस यू सी यू नीड टू लर्न एन आर्ट, एक स्किल लर्न करना ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है कि दैट कोटेशन कुछ भी आ सकता है, आपके कंट्रोल में नहीं है, और आप हर कोटेशन पढ़ भी नहीं सकते हो। ऐसा मैं भी नहीं करूंगा कि 100 कोटेशंस पढ़ लो उसमें से कुछ आ जाएगा, नो दैट कैन नेवर हैपन। रादर देन just reading the quotations, you need to cultivate an art that how quotation based question in general are to be handled irrespective of the quotation that actually is coming in the paper. Very yes, you can use it, but actually ये होता है कि that questions answers आ रहे हैं, for example GS 1 2 3 के अंदर में आ रहे हैं, हमने 10 quotations पढ़ी हुई हैं, बहुत बार हम करते हैं क्या कि that क्योंकि हमको quotation पता है, हमको वो quotation बीच में डालना ही डालना है। एक वो है नहीं ऑब्वियसली कि वो अच्छा नहीं है, लेकिन वो हम करना स्टार्ट कर देते हैं, बट वो काम नहीं करना। उसके अलावा बहुत नेचुरली अगर आ रहा है तो चलने दो। यू गेटिंग द पॉइंट और नॉट? नेचुरली आ रहा है तो चलने दो। यू आर रीडिंग इट फॉर द सेक ऑफ एनहांसिंग योर नॉलेज बैंक, वेरी गुड, यू कैन डू दैट थिंग, यू वांट टू राइट ऑन दैट, इवन बेटर, बट उससे पहले फर्स्ट यू शुड नो द बेसिक्स। इफ यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट एथिक्स, एथिक्स के बेसिक्स। No, 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 no. Topic 1 to 7, do them thoroughly. Automatically, a grasp will improve there. ठीक है, हाँ जी, yes, any other doubt here? Any other doubt? Yes, ma'am. Yes, दोनों होना चाहिए, पब्लिक सर्वेंट के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से करेक्ट होना चाहिए, एंड एज अ ह्यूमन also it needs to be there. हाँ, yes, बिल्कुल करना चाहिए, बिकॉज एट द एंड ऑफ द डे यू आर राइटिंग द पेपर ओनली फॉर कमीशन, ये तो पेपर लिख रहे हो, एस्पायर क्या कर रहे हो, सिविल सर्वेंट, तो आपके पेपर्स के अंदर में दैट डायमेंशन और एन एटीट्यूड ऑफ अ सिविल सर्वेंट शुड बी रिफ्लेक्टेड। ओके, हाँ जी, एनी अदर डाउट? इज इट क्लियर? ठीक है, so is it all about today? Okay guys, so thank you so much. I hope you got some value addition out of this session. You did not got too much bored out of it. ठीक है, चलो, very good. Okay, and keep studying, keep reading. एक समझो बात, ध्यान से समझो, एक जनरल बात, एक जनरल क्वेरी में एड्रेस कर रहा हूं कि दैट सी दिस जर्नी इज गोइंग टू बी लिटिल बिट लॉन्ग, फाइन, एवरी वन ऑफ अस comes only with one kind of an intention कि that हाँ एक साल में हमको पेपर क्लियर करना है, and that is ideally a goal that is there, but वो उस पूरे वन ईयर जो वो एक साल जो है, उस एक साल में बहुत